Arlington, Texas. BTS's soundcheck session in Arlington, Texas, suddenly turned into a moment full of laughter when Jungkook was caught red-handed, making a small mistake while singing one of the songs. Instead of letting the mistake pass, Jimin gave a dramatic response that instantly hyped up the stage atmosphere. The moment happened while the members were undergoing an open rehearsal in front of fans. While performing an R&B style track, Jungkook seemed to be thoroughly enjoying his performance. However, without realizing it, he sang the lyrics from the second verse on a part that was supposed to be the first verse. That minor error was immediately caught by Jimin, who was standing not far from him. Jimin's expression shifted instantly. He stopped moving, turned toward Jungkook, and gave a look as if to say the magne had just committed a major violation. Jimin even shook his head several times with a dramatic expression. The reaction immediately triggered laughter and cheers from the fans watching the soundcheck. Rather than try and defend himself, Jungkook clearly realized his mistake. He covered part of his face with his microphone. That embarrassed gesture only made the situation funnier as he laughed, accepting the reality that his lyrical mistake had been caught by Jimin. However, the incident was far from over. Jimin then played the role of a judge on stage. In a playful manner, he ordered Jungkook to do 5 push-ups as a consequence for messing up the lyrics. Jungkook didn't seem to mind the order at all. Laughing, he played along with the game and prepared to do push-ups right in the middle of the stage. That simple interaction immediately broke the ice and relaxed the atmosphere even further. Fans cheered and applauded as Jungkook carried out his punishment. Far from being an embarrassing mistake, the incident turned into one of the most entertaining moments of the rehearsal. Jimin looked satisfied once the punishment was completed. Their interaction showcased a laid-back side distinct from their official stage performances. There was no tension, just spontaneous banter that made fans feel as though they were watching a private moment between 2 close friends during practice. For the Army present in Arlington, Jungkook's lyric slip lasted only a few seconds, but Jimin's dramatic reaction made it far more memorable. Jungkook had little choice but to laugh and accept Jimin's verdict, while the stadium echoed with fans' cheers, adding warmth to the atmosphere before the main concert began. The moment proved once again how spontaneous interactions among BTS members can create great entertainment, even before the official show starts. A small mistake by Jungkook turned into lighthearted banter, while Jimin successfully seized the opportunity to tease the magne. For fans watching live, the question was no longer about who messed up the lyrics, but rather, what other mistakes might happen once BTS takes the main stage in Arlington? And will Jimin give Jungkook another punishment if he makes a second mistake? What made the moment so entertaining was not just Jungkook's slip-up, but Jimin's reaction upon realizing it. Jimin stared at Jungkook for a few seconds with a serious face before shaking his head, a look that seemed to ask, "Did you really mess up that part?" Seeing the reaction, Jungkook immediately burst into laughter, realizing he wouldn't get away easily under Jimin's watchful eye. His shy smile made the stage vibe even more relaxed, while fans reacted to their spontaneous interaction. Jimin kept his serious expression for a few moments, intentionally holding back his laughter so Jungkook would feel the full weight of his mistake. Occasional glances from Jimin left the magne unable to stop laughing. Jungkook ultimately hung his head and smiled, looking like someone who knew he had been caught red-handed. Instead of trying to explain, he chose to embrace the situation with laughter. Jimin's expression gradually softened into a small smile. Yet before fully refocusing on rehearsal, he gave one last look reminding Jungkook to be more careful on the next section. That brief moment caught the fans' full attention. To them, Jimin's expressions were the funniest part of the whole incident. Without many words, a single glance and a shake of the head were enough for Jungkook to understand. Jungkook then attempted to regain his concentration, gripping his microphone tighter to prepare for the next part, but the mood had already dissolved into laughter. Realizing how much the fans were enjoying it, Jimin smiled back at Jungkook, clearly not done teasing him. For the Army watching, the simple interaction felt like a bonus in the middle of soundcheck. No complex choreography or spectacular stage effects were needed. Just a tiny mistake, a dramatic look, and Jungkook's reaction to make the whole atmosphere feel warmer. When Jimin first mentioned the 5 push-up punishment, Jungkook looked almost incredulous. He stared at Jimin while laughing, as if checking whether the punishment was real or just a joke. Jimin didn't answer right away. He maintained a stern expression and gave a final gesture indicating the decision was made. Seeing that, Jungkook laughed even harder. A few seconds later, realizing he wouldn't be getting any leniency, the magne lowered himself to the stage floor with a smile. The spontaneous reaction was instantly greeted by fan cheers and applause. The soundcheck, which had been running like a standard practice session, instantly grew livelier. Fans enjoyed every second as Jungkook prepared to carry out the punishment. Jungkook did the first push-up with a smile still on his face, clearly amused by the situation himself, before finishing the remaining reps. Jimin stood nearby, watching like a supervisor, ensuring the punishment was executed completely, his smile breaking through every time he saw Jungkook laughing. What made the scene even more entertaining was that Jungkook wasn't annoyed at all. He casually went along with the joke, turning a fleeting lyric error into a lighthearted moment that lifted the mood of the entire venue. After finishing the 5 push-ups, Jungkook quickly got back up and grabbed his microphone, smiling at Jimin as if to show the punishment was complete and he was ready to resume rehearsal. However, his expression after standing up made fans laugh even more, as he seemed to be checking whether Jimin had any additional punishments in store. Jimin responded just as humorously. The slight smile on his face revealed that the action was meant as friendly banter all along rather than a real punishment. Cheers echoed through the stadium once again. For Army, the 5 push-ups were more than just a consequence for a wrong lyric. They became a spontaneous moment that made the soundcheck feel much more intimate and fun. Yet the situation didn't necessarily end after the push-ups were done. Standing back up, Jungkook observed Jimin with an unreadable expression, his subtle smile inviting more laughter. Jimin stayed relaxed nearby, seemingly unaware that Jungkook might be plotting a way to get back at him. A few seconds later, Jungkook looked at Jimin again with a smile, a gaze that felt like the beginning of a playful prank war. Fans didn't miss the shift in Jungkook's expression. Where he had previously been the recipient of a punishment, it now looked as though the magne was looking for a chance to tease Jimin back. Jungkook didn't do anything over the top. A small gesture and a smile were enough to make Jimin laugh again. That simple reaction left fans wondering what would happen next. Jimin seemed to understand Jungkook's intent, looking back at the magne with a meaningful expression, as if daring him to try and retaliate. The soundcheck vibe grew even more relaxed. The missed lyric that led to Jimin's punishment had evolved into a game of playful teasing between the two. Jungkook even appeared more confident after finishing his push-ups. Shifting from embarrassed to thoroughly enjoying the situation, he embraced the moment fully. For fans, the most intriguing part was the uncertainty of who would be the next target of the banter. Would Jungkook find a chance to punish Jimin back, or would Jimin have another surprise in store for the magne? What is certain is that a single missed lyric sparked a chain of spontaneous moments that made the Arlington Soundcheck all the more exciting. Jungkook may have just wanted to continue practice, but Jimin successfully turned a minor mistake into a running joke that energized the entire stadium. Now, fans' attention has shifted from the 5 push-ups to a far more interesting question. If Jungkook actually gets a chance to retaliate, what kind of punishment or playful revenge will he have in store for Jimin?